Welcome to another session where we are going to look at the male reproductive organs in humans. Now, before we look at the parts associated with the male reproductive system, now let's look at the three major functions of the whole male reproductive system. So the first function is to produce the sperm cells. Then number two, to secrete the hormone called the testosterone. The third one, to deliver sperm cells into the female body. Now, away from there, we are going to now start labeling some parts that we can find under this system. So we have the skin-like structure called the scrotum. So the scrotum is like a bag, and one of the function is to protect the organs like the testes and the epididymis. Then number two, the scrotum provides a favorable temperature for the production of the sperm cells. Remember, the temperature favorable for production of the sperm cells should be slightly lower than the normal body temperature. Then number two, we have this structure called the testes. So the testes are organs found under the same male reproductive system, and the function include we have production of sperm cells. Remember, the sperm cells takes about 10 to 14 days to mature. Then the other function is to produce the hormone known as testosterone. The testosterone helps in the sexual secondary characteristics of a man. Then away from the testes, we have this structure here. This one is called epididymis. So the epididymis has the function or functions of number one, storing sperm cells. Then number two, that's where the maturity of the sperm cells are done. Then we also have this structure. This structure is called the vas deferens. So the vas deferens can sometimes be called as the sperm duct. As it is called the sperm duct, it's a duct or a tube that transports the sperm cells from the epididymis to the urethra during ejaculation. Right, then we have another structure here. This is called a prostate gland. Now, as we can hear, it's a gland, so it secretes a fluid. So it's a gland at the neck of the bladder surrounding the urethra. Now, the main function of this gland is to produce an alkaline fluid. Why do we need an alkaline fluid? Because at times the urethra may be acidic due to the presence of acids in the urine. So this fluid must have an alkaline, which is a base that neutralizes the acidic in the urethra, so that the sperm cells cannot be destroyed. So the first function of the prostate gland, it is to secrete an alkaline fluid that helps the transportation of the sperm cell. Then number two, the function of prostate gland, it is also to make the sperm more active, and in terms of neutralization, we've looked at that. Then we can say it makes up a third of the semen. Then we have this one. This is called the seminal vesicles. Now the seminal vesicles, the function of the seminal vesicles, it is just to it secretes a thick clear fluid, and this fluid contains the nutrients that nourish the sperm cells. Remember, a sperm is a cell, so it needs nutrients for it to survive and to carry out the process of fertilization and for it to move in the female reproductive organ. So it requires a lot of energy to carry out processes like that. Then this is a urinary bladder. We know what bladder is. So this is just where the urine is stored, or a temporal storage of urine. Then we have this structure here. So this is a urethra. So urethra transports urine and sperm cells, but at different intervals. So what do we mean by that? So if we say at different intervals, we are meaning that a person cannot urinate and ejaculate at the same time. So it's not possible. So that's the reason why we add at different time intervals. So it's time to urinate, that person will urinate. If it's time to ejaculate, that person will ejaculate. Then we have these muscles. The muscles are known as erectile muscles or erectile tissue. Now these muscles are very important because they make the big man to be stiff or to stiffen during the process of copulation. So it makes this structure, the penis, to be strong during the copulation. Then we have this sensitive part. So the sensitive part is known as a glans. Then the glans is covered by the skin called the foreskin. So these are the structures or parts that you are able to find under the female reproductive, under the male reproductive system and their function. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.